Good morning. Today I just wanted to address the endorsement concerns that are out there and the lies that are being told. And I will be the candidate. This will be another Meet Your Candidate moment. I will be the candidate that will call something for what it is. And so if you're telling a lie, I'm going to tell you that. And I don't mince words, and I don't always use words like misinformation or untruths. If you are telling a lie, I will tell that you're telling a lie. And then, that's just a part of accountability. And I don't mind to be held accountable. And so I hold others to that same standard. So today I'm going to explain the Republican endorsement process. As you know, we live in District 5. There is the Rockingham County Republican Committee who has each district, broken off. District 5 has an excellent leader, excellent chair, and our committee is the most organized of all of them. And the endorsement process was the most detailed and informed and transparent process out of all the districts, and it's because we worked a long time on it before we put it through. So this thing that's being told that it was done too soon and wasn't thought out, all these things, it's just not true. So last year, now we're in 2023, so mind you, this was 2022. In February, I met with a few members of the District 5 Republican Party, the branch of the Republican Party of Rockingham County that is District 5. Met with them, we had dinner, we had a meeting, and that was really my first encounter with the party. I had really in my heart decided prior to then that I was going to run, before I even knew that there was a party that actually was formed and would endorse candidates and all of those things. So I met with them in February, and a couple months later the name of my opponent was brought up, and said this lady that's thinking about running. And so we were like, that's fine. A couple months later she showed up at a meeting, and I can't say if that was May or June. I can't say if I think it was the first meeting that we were there together. The Republican Party meets once a month in Rockingham County, and we sat down, and all together, including my opponent, she was there and very much involved in the process, came up with a lot of the ideas, and I'll tell you which ones. We created a process by which the party in our district would endorse a candidate. So this was May or June. It was decided at this meeting that we would have at the Rockingham County Fair in 2022 a booth set up so that the public would know that they were looking for candidates to endorse. And my opponent's words specifically was, we want to be as transparent as possible. Now, at that time, I thought it was a little crazy that there was already two candidates. We're supposed to be on the same team, but there was already two candidates, vying for the position for the endorsement. And here we were going to open it up to the public at the fair for anybody that walked by to say, hey, I want to be a candidate, and put their hat in the ring. I thought it was crazy, but we did it that way. And in hindsight, I'm really glad that we did. And that's part of what I said in the interview that I posted the other day. It was on questions, I don't know, 3 and 4, I guess, where I talked about, being the smartest person in the room. And that was a room that day that I wasn't the smartest in, and so I continually go to that room to learn. Anyways, so they at the fair sort of advertised, along with the other districts 2 and 4, that they were looking for candidates, and that passed. So we had to have all of our endorsement questions survey answered by the end of August. Turned in, I think it was August 31st. It might have been September 6th. I mean, somewhere around there. We had to turn in this basically almost like essay questions. So we turned them in. Then we had 14 days to decide whether or not, this was the window of 14 days where we decided if we really wanted to run. And obviously, I did. My opponent apparently didn't decide until May of this year that she actually thought that this was a serious enough thing to put her time and energy into. But I already knew last year. So, of course, I wanted to run. So that window passed, and I guess it was September 14th or somewhere around there. So then after that, we had a time period where we could have people send in reference letters for us. And we both had several. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see hers, and she didn't see mine, I don't guess. But I had some really good, respected members of our community send in reference letters for me. And then that window passed, and I don't know if that closed at the 1st of October or whatever, but then the last part of it was that we had to present our cases before the committee on October 19th, I think it was, of last year. So I came in prepared with everything in my head and in my heart. I did not take notes because I knew everything. I knew why I was running, and I knew all my points, and it really is just, it's part of my heart to run. And so I just came in there with myself that day. And she came in with a large TV and a PowerPoint presentation and presented that way. And I just presented my heart and my ideas and my mind to the members. And of course, in the week prior to this meeting, they all called us, and they, asked us a lot of questions and really vetted us. Where do we stand on this? What are you going to do about that? Even, what about the homeschool issue with me? And that's something that I'll tackle publicly because it's not an issue. But so we were well vetted. It was a very detailed process. It was not tainted. It was not questionable. It was not any of those things that people in our community have said. It just wasn't. And my opponent knows that because she was very involved in the process. So we presented on October 19th. We both left the building that we were in, and they called us just a few minutes later, probably between 9 and 10 o'clock that night, and the committee had chosen to endorse me. And the rest is pretty much history. The endorsements that have followed have been built on, trust and relationships that have been built, and the research that those people have done on me, and the fact that I am, a lifelong member of the community. And most of these people, already knew what I stood for. They've watched me over the past 2 years, and it's, I don't have to stand on a thing of what I'm going to do in the future. It's really what I've already done in the past when I really wasn't planning on running for school board. I stood up for your kids. I stood up against the masking. I put together a petition for that. I stood up against taking down bathroom signs from the bathrooms. And, we gathered, I think it was somewhere around 2,000 signatures at the end of that, and brought the community together. And so, and those were things that, from the left weren't favorable, and I was called a lot of names and was treated very poorly. And that's just what you get into when you get into this particular war. And I've been bold, and I've stood up, and it's not something that I've always wanted to do. Being brave is not always the thing you want to do, but it's just something that's in you, I guess. It's something for me that I'm just called to do. And so that was the endorsement process from beginning to the end. And later the committee released the results, and it was unanimous among the group that decided to endorse me. It was a unanimous vote. So it wasn't a split vote. It wasn't, 4-3 or something, something really close. It was unanimous. Every single person in the room decided to endorse me. And every single person that's endorsed me since then, it's been, a choice that they've made. And it's been a good choice. And I don't run on endorsements. And that's something that's been said as well. I don't run on endorsements because, I don't think you get very far. But I think it's good to have because it speaks to the community about, oh, these are the people that I trust. These are the people that I voted in, and they're now supporting this person that's running. And the reason I don't have to run on endorsements is because I've already proven myself. I don't have to say, oh, I'm going to stand up for you, and I'm going to stand up against the pornography in the libraries, and I don't have to say that I'm going to do that because I've already done it. I did it when I was just a citizen, not running for school board. And so I just really wanted to clear some of that up because that's if both of us are running as Christians, and all of these Bible verses that have been thrown out, then and we talk about transparency, and yet there's all of these lies that are going on, and that we weren't given enough time. And I would just say that notice there's no presidential election until 2024. But notice that they're already campaigning the people that want to be president, that want into that position. They're campaigning now, right? A year and a half ahead of time. They're already working. And so for me, in 2022, it was important enough for me. I consider the local school board just as important as the presidential election. And so I've been running since 2022, early in the year. I've been working, building relationships, learning where I can, taking time. I get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I read through Rockingham County policy. I've been doing that actually for years. And it was important enough to me to start in 2022, not in May of 2023, because, my opponent had to, decide what was best for her family, and, and this and that, and I get it. But for me, if our country goes down, then my family has a much bigger problem. And so for me, people say, oh, I'm God, family, country. But for me, it's God, and then family and country come together. Because if we don't have a country, then we're going to have a much bigger problem protecting our families. So to me, they're on an equal playing field. They're level. And so I've been, working for a long time and standing up for your children and your teachers and your parents, all the parents for a very long time. It was important to me not to show up in May, and speak at my very first board meeting after I decided to run. I've been speaking. I'm speaking of my opponent there, and that's the truth. I've been accused of running a smear campaign. That's not true. I haven't actually said a whole lot about her at all, but I have definitely not said anything that wasn't true. And so, those are just some of the things that I wanted to share, that the endorsement process was very fair, very detailed, very transparent. All of the things that you want it to be, it was. And so I thank the Rockingham County Republican Committee for putting your trust in me and all of the other people on the endorsement list. But at the end of the day, what's going to get me to the seat is the work that I do, my bravery to stand up and go against the flow, and my proven record, what I've already done for this community, for the kids, for the parents and the teachers, the ways that I've already been standing up. So that's what I'm running on. The endorsement process, again, if you haven't gotten it by now, was very fair. And I thank you all for putting your trust in me. I know that this is not a hard decision for you in November. You're going to go to that box and you're going to vote Holly Cave because you know me and you do not know this other person, and you already know how I've stood up. I've already, proven myself, and I will continue even over the next 3 months to work hard and do what I can to go ahead and get stuff in place. So I thank you all. I thank you all for taking this 15 minutes, listening to me ramble, but I felt it was very important. I think when lies are being put out in the community, especially our community, because we are tight-knit, I think they need to be addressed. And I'm going to be the person that, in a loving way, but firm, will address those things. That goes for how I'll act on the board. You'll never get to know me through posts on Facebook, and because the inflection of voice is lost when you're reading someone's typed text. But when you hear me talk and you hear my heart and you know where I'm coming from and how I truly feel about a matter, like, you're going to be able to trust me to sit in that seat and to do what's best for our county. So I really appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you at the ballot box at the election polls on November 7th of this year. Thank you so much.